All right, students, let's go ahead and now revise the next chapter. The next chapter is demand and recovery. Let's take a quick linking and then we'll go ahead. Sir, we started learning GST with goods or service. Baba, now we'll not go ahead and start our linking with goods or service. We'll be starting the linking from assessment ka chapter. So, sir, assessments. Department started the assessment. Sir, in assessment, we went ahead and learned over here that what was happening? Scrutiny of return was happening. When they went ahead and scrutinized your return, they found some discrepancy. They let you know that there is a discrepancy. If you go ahead and make the payment of the tax, very good. If you don't go ahead and make the payment of the tax interest penalty, you give an explanation. Officer likes your explanation, very good. He doesn't like your explanation, then scrutiny of return mate is told he can go ahead and take action against you, and that action or recourses which are available with the officer is he can get audit done, he can get special audit done, he can do inspection, search, seizure, or Baba, after going ahead and doing this audit, special audit, inspection, search, seizure, whatever the details he has gone ahead and collected against you, he can use those details and now he will give you a show cause notice and then raise a demand order. So after scrutiny of return, sir, there comes the next step that, sir, if the officer wants, he can use evidences against you and do what, everyone? Demand. So he can go ahead and raise a demand order. Now, once he goes ahead and raises a demand order, either you go ahead and make the payment within 3 months or you go for an appeal within 3 months. So the next chapter will come is appeals and revision. So either you go within 3 months for an appeal. If you don't go for an appeal also, you don't make a payment also, then after 3 months, they start recovery, and hence comes the chapter linking as demand and recovery. First they will demand, and if you don't make the payment, they will go ahead and hang you upside down and recover the money. That is recovery. So let's go ahead and start understanding demand and recovery. Demand and recovery chapter starts from section number 73 till section number 84. Let's go ahead and start with demand and recovery. Over here now, we have section number 73 which is there and section number 74 which is there. The first two section which comes is section number 73 and section number 74. So sir, whenever it appears to the proper officer that any tax is not paid, either you have not paid some tax or you have short paid some tax or erroneous refund you have gone ahead and taken, or ITC has been wrongly availed by you, either you have availed it wrongly or you have utilized it wrongly over here, then they are going ahead and telling that officer has two recourses which are available now. When one is under section number 73, one is under section number 74. Section number 73 is, sir, whenever it's a bona fide situation, basically it's not a situation of where officer has reason to believe that it is fraud, willful misstatement or suppression of fact. Remember, whenever it is fraud, willful misstatement or suppression of fact, then section number 74 gets initiated. But otherwise, for any other reason other than fraud, willful misstatement or suppression of fact, section number 73 ka proceedings will be done. So, sir, both the side I have gone ahead and written over here. If you divide it half, left side is the 73 proceeding, right side is the section number 74 ka proceedings which are there. First, let's understand 73, then we'll go ahead and replicate which is there in 73 is replicated exactly with minor differences in section number 74. So, section number 73 goes ahead and says that, sir, for an example, audit happened, special audit happened, inspection, search, seizure happened. Officer went ahead and told you that, Ramesh, this is the amount of tax which you have to go ahead and pay. If you go ahead and make the payment before issuance of the show cause notice, one is you can go ahead and make the payment of the tax before issuance of show cause notice. Baba, show cause notice ka summary is given to you in GST DRC 01. Before the issuance of show cause notice, you thought, let me go ahead and make that payment of the tax. Tax is paid before show cause notice, or might be officers also, before going ahead and starting proceeding, nobody wants to go ahead and take a headache. The officer can also go ahead and give you a GST DRC 01 A ka part A mein what is his estimation that he wants to go ahead and propose the liability against you. So sir, either on the receipt of GST DRC 01 A or on your own before issuance of show cause notice, if you go ahead and pay the tax, if you go ahead and pay the interest, full payment has been done, then show cause notice will not come, chapter gets closed. Just go ahead and intimate the PO when you are going ahead and making the payment. You will use GST DRC 03 and you will intimate the proper officer, and Baba, proper officer will give an acknowledgement saying, okay, I have not initiated any proceeding, I will close the chapter over here. Now in this scenario, no show cause notice, no demand order. But sir, supposingly I went ahead and made a part payment, then in that scenario remaining part ke liye what will happen? Some show cause notice will come. ठीक है sir. Or if the officer has gone ahead and proposed me a liability in GST DRC 01 A का part A में, then sir, if I make a full payment after he has proposed, then full payment, then chapter is closed. But if I make a part payment or I desire to submit make a submission, then I can use part B of GST DRC01A. And Baba, after that, what will happen? If I don't make a part payment, if I don't make any payment, or I make a part payment and remaining amount ke liye I go ahead and give a submission, then for the remaining amount, what will happen? Show cause notice will come. Show cause notice ka detailed show cause notice will be sent to you, and summary of the show cause notice will be uploaded in GST DRC01. Okay, everyone. Sir, what is the show cause notice? Show cause notice will basically tell you, show me the cause why the specified amount should not be demanded. Basically, the tax, interest at the rate of 18%, and also he'll go ahead and state the ground why he wants to go ahead and do the why he wants to go ahead and raise a demand order against you. He will go ahead and state the grounds also. Now, once you have gone ahead and received the show cause notice, remember within the next 30 days, this I am cutting as of now. You don't cut. Okay? Now, within the next 30 days, if you go ahead and make the payment of the tax and interest, then Baba, using GST DRC03, you can make the payment and intimate the proper officer. No penalty will be required, no demand order will come. But because show cause notice had come, proceedings had started, they will have to conclude the proceeding by going ahead and issuing intimation of conclusion in GST DRC05. They will go ahead and issue GST DRC05 and conclude the proceeding. But sir, if I don't make the payment, voluntary payment of show cause notice ke liye time limit is only 30 days. Post 30 days, you can't go ahead and make voluntary payment of the show cause notice. Okay, sir, done hai. If I don't go ahead and make the payment, then I can go ahead and start furnishing my representation or reply to the proper officer using GST DRC06. Now I will go ahead and make the payment. I will go ahead and make the representation. If he likes the representation, might be chapter gets closed. But if it does not like the representations, might be there is some issue, then after that he will go ahead and issue the demand order. Detailed demand order will be sent to me over a mail or post, etc. And the summary will be uploaded in GST DRC07. Remember one thing, once the demand order has come, you get how much time, sir? 3 months. Baba, you have 3 months ka time limit which is there. Within 3 months, if you make the payment, very good. Or within 3 months, you can go for a appeal, or after 3 months recovery starts. If you don't make the payment within 3 months, the department after 3 months from the demand order will start the recovery. So sir, if I once the demand order has come, if I go ahead and make the payment, then remember one thing, you will have to pay the tax, you will have to pay the interest, and penalty also has to be paid under section number 73. Sir, penalty is 10% of the tax or 10,000, whichever is higher. Sir, you will have to make the payment, you will have to inform the proper officer, GST DRC03 can be used, and he will conclude the proceeding by issuing GST DRC05. Now, same thing is over here. On the left hand side, I went ahead and told you that, sir, you can go ahead. Before the show cause notice, you can make the payment. Sir, after the show cause notice, within 30 days, you can make the payment. Then demand order ke baad, you can make the payment. Remember one thing, before show cause notice, if you go ahead and make the payment, tax has to be paid, interest has to be paid, penalty is not required over here. Sir, after the show cause notice, within 30 days, you can pay the tax, you can pay the interest, penalty is also not required over here. Sir, but after demand order, if you are making the payment, tax has to be paid, interest has to be paid, and penalty 10% or 10,000, whichever is higher, has to be paid. Mandatorily has to be paid. Done, everyone? Now, over here, this was 73 ka proceedings mein, but if the same thing, if officer goes ahead and says that you are a fraud, might be you have done some fraud, willful misstatement or suppression of fact. In that scenario, section number 74 may of proceedings will come. So in that scenario, before show cause notice only, if you go ahead and make the payment, that sir, before issuance of show cause notice only, I'm making the payment, then you just have to pay the tax, you have to pay interest, and here you have to pay penalty, which is 15%. Because it's a case of fraud, you have to pay penalty of 15% of the tax amount over here. Done? Sir, done. If I go ahead and make the payment of the tax, interest and penalty in full, chapter gets closed. But if I make a part payment or I give my representation, in that scenario, show cause notice will come, and within 30 days of the show cause notice, within 30 days, if you go ahead and make the payment, tax, interest and penalty. Now, if you have not made the payment over here, if you are making the payment over here because you made them issue the show cause notice, now they will go ahead and charge you 10% extra penalty, which will be basically 25% of the tax amount has to be paid as penalty. Now, if I don't make the payment within 30 days and after the show cause notice, I did not go ahead and make the payment, then sir, in that scenario, they will go ahead and raise a demand order after taking representation. After the demand order also, 30 days ka time limit is given to frauds. They are telling, sir, if you are a fraud, you can still make the payment within 30 days. You just have to make the payment of tax, interest and penalty will be only 50% of the tax amount has to be paid as penalty. But if you don't make the payment within 30 days, from the demand order, then Baba, remember one thing, after 30 days, so whenever you are making the payment, tax, interest and penalty will be how much, everyone? 100% of the tax amount has to be paid as penalty. Remember, this is very, very important from exam point of view. Section number 73 and section number 74. Before show cause notice, tax, interest, penalty not required. Tax, interest, penalty 15%. Sir, show cause notice came after that. Within 30 days, if you make the payment, tax, interest, penalty not required. Tax, interest, penalty 25%. Then the demand order came, tax, interest, penalty 10% or 10,000, whichever is higher, has to be paid. Here, frauds are still given 30 days ka time limit. Another chance, tax, interest, penalty can be 50%. If you don't make the payment within 30 days, tax, interest, and penalty will be 100% of the tax amount. Done, sir. Point is clear. Now, over here, same thing over here, pay tax, interest, penalty 15%. Full payment done, chapter is closed, just inform the officer and he'll give an acknowledgement. Part payment or submission, then Baba remaining part ke liye show cause notice will come. After the show cause notice, pay tax, interest, and penalty 25%. Intimate the officer using GST DRC03 and Baba intimation of conclusion of proceedings will be given. Sir, if I don't make the payment, then you can give an explanation and then what will happen? Demand order will come. After the demand order, still you get 30 days. Pay tax, interest and penalty will be only 50%. Pay, if after 30 days, then pay tax, interest and penalty will be 100%. Done, sir. Point is clear over here. Now listen to me very carefully. In this scenario, always remember show cause notice and demand order ka issuance ka time limit is very important. Remember one thing, sir, under section number 73, under section number 74, time limit for issuance of demand order under section number 73 and 74 is something which they go ahead and focus in the exam. So you have to remember, sir, if it is a section number 73 ka case, for an example, I am talking about 17, 18, 2017 and 18, you have to go ahead and see for this year, the time limit to go ahead and raise the demand order will be always 3 years from the due date of annual return. Sir, due date, if it is extended, then extended due date. So for an example, extend here, the due date will be 31st December 2018. So from here, you will be how much? 1 year, 19, 20 and 21. So 31st December 2021 tak last date to go ahead and issue the demand order. Okay, sir. The last date to go ahead and conclude the proceeding with respect to 2017-18, the demand order should come within by 31st December 2021, which is actually 3 years over here. And demand order to show cause notice, the minimum gap should be 3 months. Hence, the time limit to issue your show cause notice in case of non-fraud case is 1 year, 2 year and 2 years. Baba, 1 year done, 2 year done and 9 months over here. So it is 30th of September 2021. Done. So it is. So over here, if you go ahead and see that, sir, time limit to pass an order, demand order is 3 years, show cause notice is 2 years and 9 months from the due date of annual return for the relevant financial year. And always remember, the gap is how much? 3 months. So I have always gone ahead and told over here that the show cause notice should be issued 3 months prior. The next one over here is, sir, if it is a fraud ka case, remember, in the same scenario, because fraud detection always takes time, hence they have gone ahead and given extra time in case of fraud. So if your case comes under fraud, then, sir, 31st December 2018 is the annual return card due date. Whenever it's a due, from the due date, you have to see 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year and 5 year. 19, 20, 21, 22 and 23. 5 years. So 31st December 2023 tak your demand order should come. Okay? But sir, in case of fraud, the show cause notice to demand order ka time limit, minimum gap should be how much? 6 months. And hence the show cause notice should come by 30th of June 2023. So here it is told over here, see, 4 years and 6 months and time limit for show cause notice, demand order is 5 years. Sir, remember always, if show cause notice and time limit doesn't, and demand order, basically if the demand order is not raised within 3 years or 5 years with appropriate show cause notice, wherein the gap is given of 3 months and 6 months, sir, or else all the proceedings shall be deemed to be concluded. So if 3 years my demand order is not raised, demand order is not passed, it will be deemed that conclude proceedings for that year has already concluded. Now officer can't pass the demand order. Sir, if 5 years have already gone in section number 74, after that demand order can't be passed. Remember one thing, this 3 years and 5 years, I have already told 3 months prior in case of section number 73. In case of section number 74, the show cause notice should be 6 months prior. Sir, what if it's a case of erroneous refund? Remember one thing always, sir, if 17-18 related, supposingly you went ahead and took one erroneous refund over here, then Baba, erroneous refund ka case mein, section number 73 or section number 74. Section number 73 mein, the time limit is 3 years. Baba, 3 years, not from the due date of annual return in this scenario. Erroneous refund ka case mein, the date of erroneous refund say, the 3 years ka time limit and 2 years 9 months ka time limit in case of show cause notice will be seen. And sir, if it's a fraud wala case, then 2017-18, supposing this is the 31st December, Baba, December 2018, don't see this. Always see erroneous refund का case में section number 74 में from the date of erroneous refund they will go ahead and give you a show cause notice within 4 years 6 months and demand order within 5 years. So remember, in case of erroneous refund, it is always from the date of erroneous refund. Done, sir? Point is clear. Now listen to me very carefully. I have gone ahead and told over here what is GST DRC 01A. But GST DRC 01A is not mandatory. If the officer wants, officer can go ahead and give you what is the liability he is proposing in GST DRC 01 ka part A, and whatever partial payment or submission you do, that information you have to give in part B. ठीक है sir, point is clear. On the right hand side, I have gone ahead and told what is the time limit. Show cause notice का time limit is 2 years 9 months. 4 years 6 months and sir maximum time limit, and demand order का time limit is 3 years and 5 years. ठीक है sir. Penalty computation under 73 and 74. 73 में only at the last date after demand order penalty is 10% or 10,000 whichever is higher, but 74 में 15%, 25%, 50% and 100% is the penalty. Please remember these 2 points, very very important. After that, sir, what do you mean by suppression? When they say suppression, suppression means non-declaration of a fact or information asked required to declare or failure to furnish information asked by the proper officer. Whatever information you are asked for or whatever information you are required to declare but you have not declared, that means suppression, and Baba he can go ahead and initiate section number 74. ठीक है sir, done. Point is clear. One more point is over here. Supposingly officer already gave you a show cause notice for a period and for additional period. So always remember, once he has gone ahead and given you a show cause notice, for an example, for year 17-18, he went ahead and told you that, sir, this is your show cause notice. In this, he went ahead and told for this year, actually tax was 28% on an item and you are paying 18%. So he has given you a show cause notice on the ground that, sir, tax is short paid. Tax is short paid. Now, when he was going ahead and doing the proceeding, he went ahead and realized that for 18-19 and 19-20 also you have gone ahead and tax is short paid. Then for the additional period, if the grounds are same, then he did not go ahead and give you additional show cause notice. Instead, he can just go ahead and give you a statement saying, sir, for 18-19, 19-20 also, you have to pay this much amount. It is being short paid. Now, what will he do? He will give you this statement and this statement will be deemed as the show cause notice. So first he has given you for 1 year show cause notice. Other years ke liye he has given you a statement. Now, combining both of them, he will go ahead and raise the demand order. So for all the 3 years, if he wants to raise a demand order, first he has to give you a show cause notice. One show cause notice was already given. Now for the additional period, he did not go ahead and give you a show cause notice. Instead, he will go ahead and give you a statement. And that statement is even in GST DRC 02 for additional period not covered in the show cause notice, and service of the statement will be deemed service of the show cause notice. However, ground should be same. Sir, over here now, there is an explanation which goes ahead and says all proceeding. So, when section number 73 and 74 they have raised a demand order and might be you went ahead and made the payment of the demand order, they are telling all the proceedings will be deemed to be concluded except section number 132. Means once they go ahead and raise the demand order, supposingly you went ahead and made the payment of the demand order, does not mean that they will not send you to jail. Section number 132 ka proceedings are not deemed to be concluded. All other section may proceedings deemed to be concluded, but section number 132 ka proceedings are not deemed to be concluded. They can still send you to jail. Now, the next one over here is if you are falling under 132 wala offenses, then Baba jail to also you will go. Can I go ahead, everyone? Then notice issued to the main person liable to pay tax and some other person. So supposingly I am the main culprit and along with me there are some co-culprits who are there. Okay? So they have gone ahead and issued me a notice and they have issued the notice to the other people also. I am the main culprit. Then they are going ahead and telling against me if the proceedings are concluded. Then they are telling notice issued to the main person, notice issued to the main person, main person liable to pay tax and some other person, and such proceedings against the main person has concluded under 73 and 74, means against you demand order is already raised. Then they are telling proceedings against all other persons liable to pay penalty under 122 and 125 are deemed to be concluded. But remember, section number 122 and 125 ka proceedings are deemed to be concluded. Might be if you are coming under 132, might be proceedings under 139 has to be done against the people who are along with me. Then Baba, against them proceedings only under 122 ka penalty wall proceedings and 125 ka proceedings are concluded, not under any other sections. The next one over here, which is a favorite thing, which always you will see that, sir, if self-assessed tax or amount collected as tax, if you have not paid greater than 30 days from the due date, penalty 10% or 10,000, whichever is higher. For these people went ahead and told, sir, what do you mean? If self-assessed tax is not paid within 30 days, what do you mean? So they went ahead and issued a circular and they told whether penalty under 7311 can be levied where GSTR 3B has been filed after the due date. So here they went ahead and clarified provisions of section number 7311 can be invoked only when the provision of 73 are invoked, and provisions of section number 73 are generally not invoked in case of delay in filing GSTR 3B because tax along with applicable interest has already been paid, but only after the due date. So, sir, it is accordingly clarified penalty under 7311 is not payable in such case. However, general penalty may be imposed. So, sir, what are they trying to tell in section number 7311? For an example, you went ahead for the period January, you went ahead and filed your return on 20th February. You went ahead and self-assessed your tax, saying, sir, I am liable to pay 1 lakh rupees. Okay? But you did not make the payment you did not do, but you filed your return. Practically it is not possible to self-assess the tax and not pay the tax and file your return, but theoretically it is possible. This return will be called as an invalid return, where you did not pay the tax and you filed your return. So supposingly 1 lakh you went ahead and self-assessed your liability, you did not make the payment but you filed your return, then Baba, they are going ahead and telling now within the next 30 days, please go ahead and make the payment of the tax. If you make the payment of the tax, then there is no penalty. But if self-assessed tax is not paid within 30 days, then Baba, in that scenario, you will be liable to pay a penalty of 10% or 10,000, whichever is higher. But remember one thing, for this penalty to be charged on you, also the officer should go ahead and raise a show cause notice, and then Baba, he will accordingly go ahead and raise a demand order, because section number 73 ka proceedings have to be done. Only then this penalty can be demanded from you. Done, sir. Point is clear. Remember this, very, very important. They go ahead and ask questions on this. So, supposingly return this month ka return is here. You went ahead and filed your return, self-assessed, but did not make the payment. 30 days ka time limit is there. If 30 days may you make the payment, then there is no penalty. But if 30 days may you don't make the payment, then there will be a penalty, which will be 10% or 10,000, whichever is higher. But for this also, officer has to go ahead and issue a show cause notice and then accordingly demand order. Done, sir. Point is clear. Now, please come to the next section over here. The next section is section number 75 over here. Section number 75 is general provision relating to determination of tax. Number 1, period of stay to be excluded while calculating the time limit for show cause notice or demand order. Baba, the demand order ka time limit is what? 3 years. Show cause notice 2 years, 9 months, 4 years, 6 months, and 5 years ka time limit is there in section number 74. Supposingly, taxpayer went to the court and court has put a stay on raising the show cause notice or might be the demand order, then remember, whatever the time period for which the court has put a stay, that time period will be excluded in computation of that 2 years, 9 months, 3 years, 4 years, 6 months, and 5 years. The next one over here is, sir, if show cause notice under section number 74 is not sustainable. For an example, officer went ahead and raised a show cause notice on you, and then he went ahead and passed a demand order also saying that you are a fraud, and he levied a penalty of fraud. Now what happened? You got angry over here and you went to the court and you told, sir, you went to the supposedly appellate authority and you told, sir, I am not a fraud. And appellate authority also went ahead and saw that you are not a fraud, and they went ahead and issued their direction to the proper officer saying, hey, proper officer, this guy is not a fraud. Please go ahead and determine the tax, deeming that this person is, no, now this guy is not a fraud. Under 73, please go ahead and pass the demand order. Now, when the officer is passing the demand order, should he go ahead and issue a fresh show cause notice, or the earlier show cause notice only he can go ahead? The 74 wala show cause notice only he can go ahead and deem as a show cause notice issued under section number 73. So they went ahead and told, if show cause notice under section number 74 1 is not sustainable, proper officer shall determine the tax deeming show cause notice was already issued under section number 73 1, and he need not go ahead and issue a fresh show cause notice, but he now has to go ahead and pass the demand order, deeming the earlier show cause notice as the show cause notice which was issued under section number 74 to be a show cause notice under section number 73, and now he can go ahead and raise the demand order. Remember one thing, the time limit to go ahead and pass the demand order as per the direction of appellate authority, appellate tribunal, or court will be always 2 years from the date of such direction. Once the court has gone ahead and given the direction, from that time within 2 years, the officer has to go ahead and raise a demand order. Demand order should be passed. Now, relating to this, some officers were going ahead and doing little here and there things which CBIC went ahead and clarified to the officer. For an example, officer has to go ahead and raise a demand order against a person, but time limit under section number 73 is gone. So what officers were going ahead and doing? They were going ahead and doing 74 ka proceeding. When this person used to go to the court used to say, okay officer, no problem. Now please go ahead and do the proceedings under section number 73, deeming the old notice only issued under section number 73 and do the proceeding. Now here there was one clarification which was required, and hence CBSE has come up with a clarification with regards to the applicability of section number 75(2) and its effect on limitation. So number one issue is, in case appellate authority, appellate tribunal or court concludes that show cause notice served by the proper officer is not sustainable under section number 74(1) and directs the proper officer to redetermine the tax, deeming the notice is issued under section number 73(1) in accordance with the provision of section number 75(2), means if the appellate authority, appellate tribunal or court concluded that officer, the show cause notice and then the demand order which you have gone ahead and passed, sir, the show cause notice which you have served, supposingly officer went ahead and raised the show cause notice under section number 74 and then passed the demand order, and I went to the appellate authorities and I told, sir, I am not a fraud. Now, appellate authorities went ahead and told the officer, this guy is not a fraud. So, in that scenario, appellate authorities will go ahead and issue the direction to the officer saying, sir, please go ahead and pass a demand order as if this person is not a fraud. In that scenario, once the directions are being issued by the appellate authority, appellate tribunal or court, then in that scenario, what would be the time period for redetermination in such case? So clarification which was given was within 2 years from the date of communication of the said direction by the appellate authority, appellate tribunal or court. Once the appellate authority, appellate tribunal or court issues the direction to the officers, then from that day the officer should go ahead and pass the demand order within 2 years. Now in this scenario they are telling, sir, how the amount payable by the noticee deeming the notice to have been issued under section number 73(1) shall be recomputed or redetermined by the proper officer as per section number 75(2). So they are going ahead and telling, sir, the demand would have to be redetermined keeping in consideration section number 73(2) read with section number 73(10). It means they have to go ahead and see that the show cause notice which was issued under section number 74 was also issued within 2 years and 9 months. Only then that show cause notice can be deemed as a show cause notice under section number 73. Are you guys able to recall this point? So for an example, I'll tell you over here. Now, if the officer, for an example 2017-18 ke liye, the due date was 31st December 2018. From here, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, till here the demand order should have been passed. But sir, officer did not pass the demand order. So for an example, he went ahead and passed a show cause notice over here saying that, sir, this person is a fraud. This person is a fraud. So fraud ka case mein, what is the time limit, everyone? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here 4 years, 6 months. But you know what? Officer went ahead and passed a show cause notice. For an example, he passed a show cause notice over here only, which was under section number 74. And later he went ahead and passed a demand order. Now this person went to the appellate authority, appellate tribunal or court, and court went ahead and told, this guy is not a fraud. Officer, please go ahead and deem that show cause notice which was issued under section number 74 to be a section number 73 ka show cause notice. Can the officer go ahead and deem this show cause notice under section number 74 to be section number 73 ka show cause notice? Yes, provided it was issued within 1 year, 2 years and 9 months. So in this scenario, was the show cause notice issued within the time limit as per section number 73? Yes. Now in this scenario, section number 73 ka show cause notice, this will be deemed, and now officer will go ahead and pass a fresh demand order. Now the time limit to pass the fresh demand order will be 2 years from the time that directions has been issued by the appellate authority, appellate tribunal or court. But show cause notice had to be issued within 2 years and 9 months. So it says where the proper officer has to redetermine the tax, interest and penalty, means the demand order has to be passed. The same can be redetermined for so much of the tax not paid, short paid, ITC wrongly availed or utilized or erroneous refund, in respect of which show cause notice was issued within the time limit as per section number 73(2) read with section number 73(10), that is 2 years and 9 months. My question to you guys, supposingly officer had gone ahead for the year 17-18. This is 31st December 2018. Now 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. Sometime what happened? The time limit is gone. Now what officer does is, he says, okay, I will do proceedings under 74. Later you go to the court. Court will issue direction. I will deemed the notice was issued under section number 73. So he issued one show cause notice over here. 3 years went off, 2 years, 9 months gone. He issued a show cause notice under section number 74, accordingly passed a demand order. You went to the appellate authority, appellate tribunal or court. Court went ahead and told, hey officer, do the proceeding under section number 73. But now, can the officer do the proceeding under 73? No, because the proceedings to be done under section number 73, 2 years and 9 months are already gone, and hence these proceedings cannot be done now because it is time barred. And hence they are telling, in case the show cause notice was issued beyond a period of 2 years, 9 months, which is in this scenario, and the appellate authority concludes that the notice is not sustainable under section number 74. Hey officer, what? The 74 ka show cause notice you gave and you determined the demand order. This guy is not a fraud. Then in this scenario, the entire proceeding shall be dropped, hit by the limitation of time under section number 73. The next one over here is where the show cause notice under section number 74 was issued for multiple years. For some years, the time limit is gone. But for some year, the time limit was not gone. Then they are going ahead and telling where the notice had to be issued before the expiry of time period under section number 73(2), where the notice had been issued before the time period under section number 73 for 73(2) for one financial year, but after the expiry of the time period for other financial year, then the amount payable under 73 can be redetermined. Means the demand order can be raised only for that much of the show cause notice which has been issued within time as per section number 73(2), read with section number 73(10), that is 2 years and 9 months. That is what is being told only with respect to 1 year. Everyone over here, very, very important from this time exam. This point is very, very important. Sir, they will go ahead and tell you. Officer went ahead and raised a show cause notice under section number 74, and then the taxpayer went to the court, and court went ahead and concluded, or appellate authority, appellate tribunal or court went ahead and concluded that section number 74 ka show cause notice is not sustainable. Then Baba, what will happen? In that scenario, the show cause notice will be deemed as a show cause notice under section number 73, and accordingly the proceedings will be done. But you have to be very careful. Was that show cause notice issued within 2 years and 9 months? Only then it can be deemed as a show cause notice under section number 73 and the proceedings can be done. Otherwise, the proceedings are deemed to be concluded, or Baba, it will be hit. But basically, we can call it, this line is very good, that sir, the proceedings have to be dropped, hit by the limitation time of section number 73. And always remember, once the direction has been issued, if the show cause notice is within time limit, then from the date of direction, 2 years may the demand order will be passed, and that is being told in section number 75(3). The next one over here is section number 75(4). Opportunity of being heard always has to be given on request or wherever adverse decision is contemplated against a person. Then Baba, always opportunity of being heard has to be given, which if I am requesting or if any adverse decision will be taken against me. The next one is adjournment. Always remember, maximum 3 times is the adjournment. If sufficient cause is shown, always the officer will pass a speaking order. Means the order should be always as if the order is speaking to you. Means it should set out all the facts and basis of the decision. Tax, interest and penalty in the demand order can never exceed the show cause notice. Tax, interest and penalty in the demand order cannot exceed the show cause notice. Whatever is told in the show cause notice and whatever ground is told in the show cause notice is just confirmed by the demand order. Demand order can never exceed the show cause notice. Demand order should always be in conformity with the show cause notice. Where appellate authority, appellate tribunal, court modifies the tax, interest and penalty also shall get modified. So for an example, you went to the appellate authority, appellate tribunal or court, and they went ahead and increased the tax amount, then interest and penalty also will increase. They reduce the tax amount, then interest and penalty also gets reduced accordingly. Always remember, if in the demand order they forget to state the interest amount, always interest has to be as told in the show cause notice, but interest cannot exceed what is told in the show cause notice. But even if they forget to tell in the demand order that interest has to be paid, Baba, interest is always payable by default at the rate of 18%, even if they forget. But penalty they can't forget. Penalty must be stated in the demand order. So interest always payable even if not specified in the demand order. Sir, if no demand order within 3 years or 5 years, proceedings deemed to be concluded. Sir, wait time spent between decision of appellate authority, appellate tribunal, high court or supreme court not to be considered. So for an example, I am an officer. In one case, I have gone ahead and told that the rate of GST should be 28%. the case is now going on in the appellate authority, appellate tribunal, etc. And I'm waiting for the decision to come so that I can apply the same decision in any other case. In that scenario, officer will go ahead and raise a show cause notice, and now to raise the demand order, he will wait. Whatever time he is waiting for the decision of the appellate authority, appellate tribunal or court will be excluded for him to go ahead and pass in any other situation the demand order. The time limit will be excluded. The next over here is always remember direct recovery in case of self-assessed tax liability in accordance with section number 39. Remember, what do you mean by self-assessed tax liability? Self-assessed tax liability shall include the tax payable in respect of with the details of outward supply which you have furnished in your GSTR1 or IFF. But sir, you have not included in the return which is furnished under section number 39. What do you recall by this? Sir, if there is any difference between GSTR1, supposingly you told over here 1 crore and 18 lakh liability, but GSTR 3B when you filed, you showed 1 lakh liability and 18,000 ka tax, then because there is a difference, they are telling this is self-assessed liability. You had self-assessed your liability as 18 lakh rupees. In this scenario, we will go for direct recovery, demand order, etc. is not required. I hope this point is clear. And Baba, with respect to this, I would also link payment of taxes chapter May 1 rule number 88C also has come. Yes, sir, we had gone ahead and discussed about rule number 88C in our payment of taxes chapter that, sir, whenever there is a difference in the liability which is reported in GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B, then in that scenario, sir, where the tax payable by the person in GSTR 1 and invoice furnishing facility, now direct recovery can happen. So what was happening was, supposingly in my GSTR 1, I by mistake added one extra zero. In 10 lakh rupees, I added one extra zero, it became 10 crore, and the liability and amount I showed as 18 lakh rupees, front person took the credit, it went to GSTR 2A to B, but my intention was not fraud over here. So they are going and telling before doing the direct recovery, now they will give you an intimation, and that is what that rule number 88C is trying to say, that sir, where the tax payable in GSTR 1 or IFF exceed the tax payable in GSTR 3B by such amount and percentage as will be recommended by the council, the registered person shall be intimated of the difference. At least one intimation should be given, no, before you start direct recovery. You are hanging upside down and recovering the money. No. So at least they are telling first we will give an intimation, and a copy will also be sent on the mail highlighting the difference. Either you can pay the differential along with interest using GST DRC 03, or you can give an explanation within 7 days. Sir, if the person pays and furnishes the in part B the details of the payment, or furnishes a reply in part B of GST DRC 01B within 7 days, the person shall either you, so first they will intimate you the difference, either you make the payment and furnish the details in this GST DRC 01B ka part B mein, or you can give your reply in part B of GST DRC 01B within 7 days. Sir, where the amount remains unpaid and no explanation is furnished, or where the explanation is not found to be acceptable, the amount shall be recoverable under section number 79. Now the recovery will start. They will not give you demand order, they will start recovery. So this 88C has to be linked with demand and recovery ka chapter also. Now the next one over here is, sir, no penalty for the same act or omission under any other section. If you are already penalized under section number 73 or 74, might be 122 ka penalty, etc. will not be levied. The next one is section number 76 over here. Section number 76, tax collected but not paid to the government. The most important part to remember in this section is, if you have collected an amount as tax but you have not gone ahead and paid it to the government, you should immediately pay. There is no due date for amount collected as tax. If you have gone ahead and collected amount collected representing as tax, it was not tax but you told that it's tax and you collected from a customer, then you have to pay it immediately. It shall be paid immediately to the government. If not paid, then so cause notice will be served. Summary will be uploaded in GST DRC 01 and specifying the amount and the penalty equal to the amount. Demand order shall be passed after considering the representation, interest at the rate of 18% from the date of collection till the date of payment to the government. Opportunity of being heard will be given. Show cause notice to demand order ka time limit is 1 year, but to give the show cause notice there is no time limit. Done, sir. Point is clear over here. Period of stay will always be excluded. Whenever they pass an order, it will always be a speaking order. Adjustment of tax. If any amount of tax was payable by such person, that amount will be adjusted. Any surplus will be refunded in the consumer welfare, refunded to you, or it will be put in the consumer welfare fund. Person who has the bond the incidents may also apply for a refund under section number 54. The most important point to remember over here is show cause notice. If amount has been collected representing as tax, which was not tax but you collected showing as tax, immediately paid to the government. If you don't pay, show cause notice, there is no time limit. Demand order, the time limit is 1 year. Section number 77 over here is, sir, tax wrongfully collected and paid to the central government or state government. For an example, I paid CGST and SGST instead of paying IGST. Then, Baba, you have to pay IGST. Refund of the CGST and SGST should be taken and pay the correct IGST. Remember, when you are paying the correct IGST, no interest is payable. Section number 77 has to be read with section number 19. So it also goes ahead and says that, sir, supposing you have paid IGST by mistake, please take a refund of the correct please pay correct CGST and SGST. Take a refund of the IGST. When you are paying the correct CGST and SGST, you don't have to pay any interest. We have gone ahead and learned section number 73, sir. Other than fraud, willful misstatement and suppression, the demand order. Section number 74, fraud, willful misstatement and suppression का केस में demand order. Section number 75, general provision. Section number 76, amount collected representing as tax, immediately go ahead and pay it to the government. If you don't pay, show cause notice, no time limit. Demand order का time limit, show cause notice say 1 year. Section number 77, wrong tax paid, take the refund of the wrong tax. Correct tax should be paid. Once you pay the correct tax, then you can apply for refund within 2 years. But when you are paying the correct tax, you don't have to go ahead and pay any interest. Now over here comes the next one, which is recovery ka proceeding. Section number 78 goes in and says initiation of recovery proceeding. Sir, amount payable in the demand order, please make the payment within 3 months. If you don't make the payment within 3 months, Baba, they will start the recovery. Remember, if proper officer considers it expedient, then proper officer can go ahead and do the recovery even below 15 days, below 3 months also. Proper officer considers it expedient, he may require the taxable person to make the payment less than 3 months. Period will be specified by the proper officer. Sir, how will you do the recovery? Modes of recovery are M square, R square, TDS. Sir, modes of recovery. M means magistrate ke through recovery can be done. M for magistrate. So, Baba, recovery through an application to the magistrate. What will the proper officer do? He'll give an application to the magistrate. Now, magistrate will go ahead and collect the amount from you as if it was court fine. Court ka fine not paid, Baba, gone. They will send you to jail. Then, sir, R for M square. M again is movable and immovable property. They can go ahead and sell your movable, immovable property and recover the amount. R means refund or any other amount which you have to receive from the proper officer, or they can ask other specified officer, other government officers, basically from where you have to receive refund. The refund say amount will be deducted. R, M done. Movable property, immovable property. M for magistrate. R for refund ka adjustment can be done. R for realization of bond. Baba, bond ke saath you would have given any bank guarantee and all. They are telling from the bank guarantee and all, we'll go ahead and recover the amount. The next one over here is T for third party get through. They can go ahead and recover the amount from whom the amount is due or may become due. Then D for, sir, D for district collector. Officer can go ahead and tell the district collector. He will make a certificate and give it to the district collector. But district collectors have immense power. Now they will go ahead and do the recovery from you. The next one over here is S. S for selling of goods. They can detain and sell your goods and recover the amount. Either himself, proper officer can do, or he can ask specified officer to go ahead and do. Sir, always remember, if recovery has to be done, both the officers will not come and catch your neck. Sir, SGST officer will collect the dues and later whatever the amount belongs to the central government, they will pass it on to the central government. So if my jurisdictional officer is a state government officer, he will come collect the GST from me, and sir, whatever amount he collects relating to the central government, he will pass it on to the central government. Sir, what if partial recovery has done? Then Baba, pro rata they will allocate between center and state. If partial recovery, pro rata distribution between the central government and the state government. Remember, whenever recovery is done from your distinct person also, they can go ahead and do the recovery. The next one over here is payment of tax and other amounts in installment. Sir, against me demand order has come. I don't have money to pay. Please give me some more time. Then taxable person can file an application in GST DRC 20 and commissioner can go ahead and either extend the time, he can give you more time, or he can allow you monthly installment, which will be how many installment? Maximum 24 installment. Remember, self-assessed tax. There is no installment facility, it has to be paid. Sir, installment facility is always subject to interest under section number 50, and if you default in any installment also, beta, gone. Withdrawal of the installment facility and total amount recovery will start immediately, and installment is not allowed if Baba amount is less than 25,000. It'll tell a beggar get lost, less than 25,000. The next one, section number 81, transfer of property shall be void in certain cases when the amount becomes due from him. When the person say amount becomes due, then if he's thinking, I will go ahead and give my property on mortgage, I'll transfer the property in order to defraud the revenue. Sir, you create a charge or you part with the property with an intention of defrauding the government revenue, then such transfer shall be void, but it will not be void if your bona fide intentions were there. You thought I will transfer the property, recover the amount and give it to the department only. If your intentions were bona fide and you have done it for adequate consideration in good faith, plus without notice of pendency of such proceeding, you did not know only. Might be, sir, your bona fide intention plus adequate consideration you have done. You did not know only such proceedings are going on against you, or without notice of such tax on any other payable, some payable by the said person. I didn't know only that, sir, I have to pay such amount, or I have done it with the transfer with the proper officer permission. Then in that scenario, it will not be void. Otherwise, transfer of property shall be void. Section number 82 goes ahead and says tax to be first charged on the property. They are going ahead and telling tax will always be charged first on the property. It means subject to insolvency and bankruptcy code, but it is. If IBC is applicable on a company, then section number 82 will not be applicable. But if IBC is not applicable on a company, section number 82 says GST department will stand first and recover its due. It says taxable person or representative, amount payable, then GST dues. Then government shall have first charge on the property. Government will recover its GST amount first, but that is always subject to IBC. If insolvency and bankruptcy code is selling something else, then that will prevail, and this will, section number 82 will not prevail. The next one over here is section number 83 goes ahead and talks about provisional attachment of property. Sir, provisional attachment का case में section number, okay, what did we learn till now? We went ahead and learned section number 73, other than fraud, willful misstatement and suppression of fact, demand order. Section number 74, fraud, willful misstatement and suppression का case में demand order. Section number 75, general provision. 76, everyone, amount collected representing as tax should be immediately paid to the government. Section number 77, wrong tax paid should be taken a refund and correct tax should be paid. Interest is not required. 78, greater than 3 months recovery proceedings will start. 79, M square R square TDS, modes of recovery. 80, everyone, installment facility. 81, transfer of property shall be void. 82, subject to insolvency and bankruptcy code, GST department, basically GST or the government dues will have first charge on the property. Section number 83 talks about provisional attachment. Sir, provisional attachment. Supposingly, proceedings have been initiated under chapter number 12, under chapter number 14 and under chapter number 15, which is basically assessments are happening against you, demand and recovery ka proceedings have started, or inspection, search, seizure and arrest ka proceedings have started, and commissioner is of the opinion that to protect the government revenue or government ka revenue ka interest attachment is necessary, then he will go ahead and record the basis of his opinion and he will pass an order GST DRC 22 and the details of the property he'll record in that and he will attach the property. They are going in and telling a copy of this GST DRC 22 will be sent to the concerned revenue authority, transport authority, bank, or and also to the person whose property has been attached. So what they will do is they will go ahead and tell my bank, hey, don't allow Ramesh ka bank account say any withdrawal. Deposits are okay, withdrawals should be blocked. So they can attach my bank account. They can tell the transport authority, don't transfer any movable, immovable properties. Revenue authorities, they will send this GRC 22 and they will attach my property including my bank accounts. Okay, sir. Then once the property is attached, they will inform the concerned authority also that please attach his property and they will inform me also. Now, what I can do is I can go ahead and file an objection in GST DRC. Sir, please don't attach my property. If property is not liable to be attached, then you can go ahead and file a objection against it. If objection is filed, commissioner will go ahead and provide you an opportunity of being heard. If commissioner is satisfied that he will release the property by issuing a DRC 23. If he is not satisfied, then attachment will continue. But remember one thing, he should complete and the investigation and adjudication basically within 1 year, because attachment always ceases to be effective after 1 year. The maximum time period for which he can do the attachment is 1 year. And here I have gone ahead and written about perishable or hazardous natures ka good. They will be released if the person goes ahead and pays lower of the market price of such goods or amount that is or that may become due by such person. If you go ahead and pay lower of the market price or the amount that will become due from you, whichever is lower, then the property shall be released immediately by an order in GST DRC 23 on proof of payment. If you fail to make the payment and the property is perishable or hazardous goods, then in that scenario, the property will be disposed of and amount will be recovered. Amount recovered may be adjusted towards the tax, interest, penalty, late fee, or any other amount which might be or may be which is due or might become due from you. The next one over here is section number 84, continuation and validation of recovery proceedings. Section number 84, demand order served on you, taxable person. They started the recovery within 3 months, but you went to the appellate authority. Appellate authority went ahead and condoned the delay, and sir, appeal and revision ka application is filed. They went ahead and condoned the delay, and you filed your appeal ka application. Now, in this scenario, officer will go ahead and stay the recovery proceeding, which had already initiated after 3 months. They will stay. So they are going ahead and telling now, once the appeal has been disposed of, if supposingly appeal mein the demand order is cancelled, then recovery will not happen. If they confirm, then the recovery proceedings will continue. If they enhance the amount, then commissioner will serve another notice of demand for the enhanced amount, because for the remaining amount already demand order is given. For the enhanced amount, they will go ahead and give you a another notice of demand that this amount will be going ahead and demanding from you, and then will means this amount also will recover from you. Notice of demand has to be given. Now recovery proceedings shall now continue with respect to old and new or notice of demand. Sir, if there is a reduction in the demand, then fresh demand notice is not required. Demand notice is not required because already the demand order which was given, but demand order is only your notice of demand. They don't go ahead and another notice of demand etc. is not sent. Demand order is already there. Okay? So fresh demand notice is not necessary. The commissioner shall give. Earlier it was told order. The commissioner will just give an intimation of the reduction, and recovery proceedings shall continue with the reduced amount now. Sir, always remember rule number 161 when one small amendment came over here. The order, earlier it was called the order. Now the order of reduction or enhancement of any demand shall be issued in GST DRC 25. Now this order ka name has been changed to an intimation. So whenever there is a reduction or enhancement, the officer will go ahead and inform you by an intimation or notice in GST DRC 25. So we'll go ahead and close our revision over here. This chapter is which kind of chapter, everyone? This chapter is an, I can go ahead and say A graded. Why sir A graded? Because one small mark, A or B you can go ahead and say, but a small question can definitely come out of this chapter. Sir, this chart is A graded. This chart, the first chart is A graded, wherein the time limit and penalty etc. can be asked to you. Very important. For section number 7311, there are small questions which are given. Please be very careful. This circular which is there, in my opinion, this time in the exam for your November 23 or might be May 24, they will go ahead and on this circular, they will go ahead and ask a question. Please be very careful. Section number 75 ka there here 12 May that 88C has come. Please be very careful about it. Other than that, this is B graded. This is also B graded point from the chapter point of view. All these other points which are there are C graded. So the first chart is A graded. This small circular which has come is again A graded. These two sections can be B graded, and all the other sections which are there are C graded from exam point of view. Still, modes of recovery can be important over here. Done everyone. I'll go ahead and close my revision on the chapter of demand and recovery.